Alrighty then, I am back for probably my last week of videos for you guys. This is my last week of English student teaching, but doesn't mean we can't learn some stuff. Today we're doing, this week, the main focus is volumes of cylinder, cone, and sphere. There's something special about these three volumes. If you can't pick it up, the big thing is we're dealing with circles. So I hope you guys remember what the area of the circle is, because we're going to be hammering that home this week. All right. Key thing with a lot of volume questions, this is going from looking at the area in 3D. We're not looking at surface, but we're looking at this whole mass of an object. So it could be your phone. It could be your drink. Could be, I can't, eraser. So we're just now going from 2D to 3D now. Now here's the cool thing about this. So we're going to start with the volume of a cylinder. A volume of the cylinder is the same that you'll see with a prism. You're going to see something. It's going to say volume. Volume equals area of the base times the height. In this case, since we're dealing with circles, the area of a circle is pi r squared. So the volume of a cylinder is pi r squared. So that's right on here, pi r squared times the height. So when dealing with volume of a cylinder, you need to be able to find the radius, because r is equal to radius and the height. You could have diameter. They could give you the dimension of diameter. Remember, if you have a dimension of a diameter, to cut that, to divide by 2 to get the radius. You could also have technically a circumference, which we know is pi times the diameter. So there's that. And you know how to get, using some algebra, you can find what the diameter and then cut that in half. So again, we're dealing with finding the radius. So it's important to know what the radius is. Now, I ended up posting a video a little bit earlier about the relationships of a volume of a cone and cylinder. There's a really cool relationship of a cone and cylinder if the cone has the same height of a cylinder and the same base of the cylinder. There's a cool relationship about that. I do have that posted. I would have done it for you too, but I didn't have a proper camera to demonstrate that. So if I'll be right back. In the video I showed that you could take a cone that has the same base, so the bottom end, and height of a cylinder, so same base and height. It's 1/3. The volume of this cone is 1/3 the volume of the cylinder, which we have the volume of a cone right here is 1/3 times pi times r squared times height. So when we deal with cones, the thing we have to know is we are also multiplying by 1/3. So we need to know the radius and the height of a cone. So that's what we have to find. The last is a sphere. Now, sphere is nice to you because all you need to know is the equation, and you need to find the radius. Because the radius is kind of the height as well in these types of... For a sphere, the radius is also the height So we don't have to find height, we just need the radius. But instead of 1/3, we have to multiply it by 4/3. Pi times r cubed. Keyword cubed here, not squared, but cubed for spheres. Another thing to note, what they could ask you is for a hemisphere or half a sphere. All right, to find half a sphere, it's the same formula, but we're right now having half of a sphere, which is you have to divide that by 2. So these are the 3 formulas that you're going to be dealing with. Volume of a sphere is 4/3 pi r cubed. Again, we're looking for radius as r. Cone is 1/3 pi r squared times the height. So r is, again, the radius times the height. So radius squared. And lastly is the cylinder, which is pi r squared times the height. Or what you will be seeing in later math classes, volume equals the area of the base times the height. But in this case, know that the base for cylinders is pi r squared. Focus on this equation for cylinders. Hope this helps you clarify a couple questions for volume. Just be careful, and again, when doing these types of problems, please make sure of what you need to find.